Okay, this video is about how to write a chemical equation. So, in these types of problems, you're going to be given a bunch of words in a sentence. And basically, what your job is to take that sentence and to translate it into the symbols that we use in chemistry. So, we're talking coefficients and subscripts, we're talking the element symbols as well, we're talking plus signs and arrows, reaction arrows. So a couple things that I would recommend doing as you approach these problems. First, go ahead and box the words that say like and or with. When you see those words, you're going to go ahead and put a plus sign in those spots in the equation. Okay, so that's for the words and with. Next, I want you to underline verbs such as to form, to produce, to yield. When you see those words, that should be a red flag to you saying, hey, put your reaction arrow. When you see a verb like combine or decompose, that's really just telling you, hey, here's a hint at the type of reaction this is. So for example, this one says combine. We see that we have two separate entities coming together to form one thing. That's going to be a combination reaction. So that was a little hint for us. So let's attempt this problem. So we've marked it up how I told you to do so. And now all we're going to do is just go compound or element by compound or element. So we're going to start right here with silver. Well, this one's easy. All we have to do is just write silver. Okay? And now we can put a plus because and is next. The next thing we can do is see that it's oxygen. Well, that one isn't too bad, right? Because I can just say O. But you should know something about oxygen. You should know that oxygen is a diatomic element. That means that when oxygen is just plain by himself, not in a compound, he's just sitting there in an equation like that, he's going to be diatomic. There's going to be two of him. There are 7 elements that are like this. They are as follows: bromine, iodine, nitrogen, chlorine, hydrogen, oxygen, fluorine. I call them the Brinkelhoff twins. Brinkelhoff is like that, those 7 elements in order of their symbols. It's just easy for me to remember which 7 it is. Mr. Sullivan calls them the lucky 7 elements because it makes a 7 in the corner of the periodic table. You do whatever you need to do to remember those, but there's a few mnemonic devices for you. All right, so we know that oxygen, when it's just by itself, it's going to be O2. Next, I see combine to form. I should be writing a big arrow. And then finally, I have silver oxide here. So I know that this is going to be an ionic compound because silver is a metal. So I need to follow my ionic naming rules, which means I have to do that crisscross of the charges thing. So what I'm first going to do is write my symbol for silver. Silver is Ag with a 1 plus. We know this because our notes tell us that we assume a 1 plus charge for silver. Oxide is really just oxygen, and we know that the charge on oxygen is 2 minus. The reason why is because oxygen has 6 valency electrons, so it just needs to go steal 2 electrons to be able to have that perfect octet. And so therefore it will have a 2 minus charge. What's going to happen is that this 2 is going to come down here, this 1's going to come down here, and so this really becomes Ag2. Sorry, I didn't think that through. Ag2O. And now all I need to do is just balance my equation because I took care of everybody that was written down. So I'm going to start with my silvers. I have 1 silver on the left. I have 2 silvers on the right. 2 oxygens on the left, 1 oxygen on the right. So my silvers, they're not happy, right? Because they're not balanced. So I'm going to go ahead and put a big 2 on the left side because 2 times that 1 silver is going to end up being 2 silvers. Now I can move on to my oxygen. On the left, I have 2 oxygens. On the right, I only have 1 oxygen. So what I need to do is on this right side, put a big 2 there. That's going to make my oxygen become 2. And now, by association, my silver is going to have 4. So my oxygen's happy, but now I need to go back and look at my silver. Is my silver even on both sides? No, it's not, because I have 4 on the right and 2 on the left. So what I'm going to end up doing, so I'm going to multiply that by 2 to make it end up being 4, and that becomes 4. And now everybody's happy. So there are definitely more complicated types types of problems like this for writing chemical equations. But the most important part of these is really honestly being able to write out formulas based on a name that's given to you. And that is a skill that you were supposed to learn last unit. If you have not learned that skill and you don't know how to use your naming notes, you really do need to watch some videos about it or come talk to one of your teachers, one of us chemistry teachers, so that you can successfully accomplish this. Because if you can't do that naming, the transition between a name to a formula, you're going to end up messing up some of the charges, and that's going to totally mess up your balancing, even if you're amazing at balancing. So hopefully this video helps you.